I knew straight away as soon as you said Monster Munch. Like, yo, bro, that's the one.
Hey, yo, what's the whole name? What did you just call that?
Pickled onion monster.
No. You said like Walker or something, right?
Yeah, Walker.
Yeah, Walker's Monster. The company that creates it is called Walker's, which is basically Lay's for you guys, right? It's the same company, right? And they have a brand called Monster Munch.
I think we might be live. I just got the notification for that, though.
Yeah. I got that because I know Steve-O off Jackass recommended it in a video, and I got that while I was at the store, and it's delicious.
Bruh, it's...
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I'm telling you, that's one of the best packet of crisps you can ever fucking find. Like, I used to make... When I was a kid, I used to make a crisp sandwich. So basically crush the fuck out of it, butter bread, pour it in there, make your like quick snack. You know what I mean?
I'm about to buy more either online or whenever I go back to the store because I'm like, this is like a really good bag of chips.
Bro,
yo, Krow, you ready?
If you do find, yeah. If you do find one, try and get prawn cocktail.
Prawn cocktail?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, your mic's coming through perfectly fine for us. I don't know about the stream.
Alright, yo. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, yo, let's start here. Let me actually lower my mic. Okay, alright. Yeah.
Is that your meeting called a Krow?
Nah, I don't know what he's on right now. Alright, let's start with the mic check.
Yo.
Mic check.
Testing 1 2, testing, check 1 2.
1 2 1 2.
Alright, yo.
Check.
Hashtag free Britney.
Yo, let's start here and so yo, what's up? Welcome to episode 19 of Nest Talk. This is your host, the Sly Krow. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And this is the show where we talk about some of the biggest gaming headlines and what's trending in the gaming media. And once again, I'm here with my guy from the UK, Joker Gamer V3.
Yo, what's up, people? Can't believe this is episode 19, fam. Damn, it feels like I've just been on episode 2, 3, or whatever it is, but damn, episode 19. But yeah, man, thank you for having me again, Krow. I appreciate you bringing me as a guest. And I can't wait to talk about today's topic, to be honest, so let's go.
Yeah, definitely, man. I am gonna bring up your comment from the E3 show, so it's definitely gonna be a good time. And I'm here with the good homie Bam Bam V3.
Yo, what up? Thanks for having me back, man. It's always a good time. Come in, chop it up. See, we got Melodic, we got Windu here, we got Joker here, so you know it's gonna be a good time. But I am ready to hear about you getting your cheeks clapped in Mario Strikers because I know you've been getting clapped up. So let's get into it.
That was just one game. I mean, yeah, like I
That was a warm up.
That was a warm up.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. How much cheeks clapped in that game too?
Oh, okay. You omit the clapping. All right. Yeah. And we got the Nintendo stand, the TheMelodicPunk. Appreciate you pulling up.
Thank you for having me on for another episode. What's up, everybody? This is the TheMelodicPunk. Gaming's picking back up. A lot of news to talk about today. We're going through the Microsoft show. We're going to talk a little bit about Mario Strikers now that it's released. Been recently playing Gears 2. I'm on the 4th act. I'm almost done with that. And then I've been revisiting The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. I've not played Twilight Princess since 2008. So that's what I'm currently playing right now, just in case everybody's wondering. And
so you jumped all the way into a time machine. Was this your first time playing Gears 2?
Yes, first actually. Back in 2019 or 2021, I was going through Gears of War Ultimate Edition because it was a part of my backlog on Xbox. Because back on 360, I was playing Halo and all that stuff, so I wasn't really into Gears that much.
So you hold on, bro. So you telling me you skipped Gears for Halo back in the day?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love Halo a lot more than Gears.
Man, I'm gonna have to pull your card, bro. You know what I'm saying? I thought you were straight. I'm gonna have to, hey, bro.
Hey, better late than never, especially on the Series X. Better late than never.
Hey, facts.
I'll tell you what, I bet you'd love that shit.
Gears 2?
Yeah.
Bro, Gears is life, bro.
It's pretty good.
All right, yo, and we got another good homie here, the WinduTheMace, and you know it's about time you pulled up here, and appreciate you coming back on.
Yeah, this man said it's about time. Appreciate you having me, bro. What's up, guys? I'm here to join Melodic Punk because there was just way too many B3s in this chat. That's all I saw.
Mm.
Hey,
I decided I needed to represent. Let's add somebody with the word THC up in here.
Listen. Get the fuck out of here. You know the V3 stands for the shit, right? Like, yo, bro.
Hey, man, all I know is me and Melodic are version 1s. We're the original. That's all I know.
I'm trying to figure something out real quick, right? I thought you used to be an actual panel member on the podcast, my boy. What you mean you coming back?
Negative, my dude. I was always a guest.
I always heard, look, I remember doing the intros, Krow would always say, you know, I'm here with my guys, panel members. Deli and Windu.
Hey, man. I'm pretty sure it was just Krow and Deli at this point. I'm pretty sure Joker is a guest, no matter how many times he's shown up.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
As for me, I'm just the freelance podcaster, so you get me when
Hey, man, but I appreciate you having me back in here, Krow. I know my life been hectic, crazy, having a baby and all that. So shout out to all the dads out there coming up on Father's Day. That shit is not easy. Much love to you all. But I'm excited to talk about this past weekend that we just had, that little show that went on. I'm curious to see what you guys are gonna say, and I know for a fact I'm about to trigger a couple of you with what I'm gonna say. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, weekend spicy.
Damn, bro.
Bro, you know my life is spicy, bro.
Yo, it's gonna be definitely good to hear your thoughts later, and yeah, so actually let's start with our first topic, which is Mario Strikers impressions. And yeah, you know, it's been a long time coming since the original Mario Strikers, which released on GameCube back in 2005. And you know, it's really great that Nintendo did bring it back here. And you know, the presentation of this game, I would say, is very on point. Like it's probably the best looking Nintendo sports game right now when it comes to the presentation. And you know, the actual gameplay itself is actually pretty in-depth too. It has a strategy element to it, like the fact that you have some characters with a lot of strength, and when you do tackle them, like they don't lose the ball that quick. But you have also other characters who are light on their feet. They're pretty quick on the field, but when you do tackle them, like they get knocked out pretty easily. So you know, that balance between, you know, having strikers, having characters with speed, and having characters with strength, it's pretty interesting, and like how you build your team is pretty strategic as well. So I'm gonna pass it to the WinduTheMace, and what were your thoughts on Mario Strikers?
Yeah, so I'm aware of the previous two Mario Strikers games on GameCube and Wii. I never really owned them or played them, so this was kind of a brand new thing for me. It's a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot of depth into this game in terms of like how to make certain passes, how to make certain goals, and of course, you know, knowing when to like tackle and like learning the classes of each characters and all that. I do like the gear system, especially once you start building your own club and you can kind of balance out your own team with like certain characters. For example, with my Wario, I think when I was talking with Krow, I think I sped up. No, it was with Peach. I decided, okay, Peach is already a technical player, but let me give her gear so that way I can make her faster on the field. Or let me give some extra gear over to Donkey Kong to make him more of a tank so he's able to go tackle people more. And let me make Wario a little bit better so he can make shots more. So there's like a lot of depth to go through when it comes to building your team and, of course, applying all the gear and everything. Online's a lot of fun, very toxic, and not in like voice chat or anything. It's very sweaty online, very competitive, but it's a lot of fun to get a few games in. I played both with wired and wireless connection. Both worked out pretty well. I've had more latency issues with some Wi-Fi matches, but otherwise, great game, a lot of fun. I don't know if it's worth $60 though, because there's a lot of content that I think should be there. There's a few characters, like I'm surprised Daisy's not in the game. And I think there could have been a few more courses, but who knows? They might add those in updates down the line. The Clubhouse seasons haven't really started yet at the time of this recording. Is it the best Switch sports game? I don't know. I still personally prefer Mario Golf Speed Rush. I was playing Mario Golf the other day with some family, and it was like the first time booting up that game in a while, and there's just a lot more courses and a lot more characters going on. So when it comes to Mario Sports, Mario Golf is my favorite, but Strikers isn't bad. I'd recommend getting it if you can get it for like 50.
Right, I mean, like, this is still a pretty good party experience, you know. It does have a lot of in-depth gameplay, especially when you play with the friend. Like, it gets really hectic. And yeah, you know, as far as the best sports game, you know, I wanted this to be when I first got it, but you know, for me, I thought that, you know, Mario Tennis Aces is definitely up there as one of my best sports games still. And like the fact that they have their whole like 1v1 ladder system with the tourney system, like that was pretty cool how they have that set up, you know. But when it comes to like the gear and like, as you said, like, you know, customizing your characters, like I do think that has a pretty good strategic depth, and you know, it's pretty cool about that. And yeah, so, you know, actually Bam Bam did have a few questions about it. Like, he was kind of on the fence of getting it.
Yeah, let me get in here real quick, man.
And yeah, so what are your thoughts, man?
Listen, man, y'all got me, man. Y'all got me toe up, right? I'm trying to figure out how. You said you got Mario Tennis Aces up there, right?
Yeah.
Look, I know that's your opinion. You my boy, but I'm gonna have to slap your neck 2 times real quick, man. How you talk about the best sports Mario game and you leave out, because you know racing is a sport. How you leaving out the GOAT Mario Kart, my boy?
Went there, bro. Oh,
I typically keep Mario Kart separate from titles.
Over 40 million copies sold.
Yes.
New tracks being released for the next 12 months. You leaving out the GOAT? But Mario,
it's cool they added DLC that game.
You said what, Melodic?
I said it's cool that they're adding more DLC tracks to Mario Kart 8. I will give them that.
Yeah, that shit is dope. But like on a serious note, right? So I was looking at Mario Strikers, right? And number one, I wanted to ask. I got a couple questions, right? I wanted to know, how does this fare to Mario Golf, Mario Tennis? Because every time these new sports games come out, especially with the Mario Sports series, you always hear in the reviews, these games do not feel like the complete package. You may have to wait for DLC. You know what I'm saying? For more fields, for more characters. Because you was just saying, Melodic, Daisy's not in the game. Who else wasn't in the game? You said. I heard you listing off a couple people who you thought should have been in the game, but yet they aren't in the game. So I mean, as far as characters go, I can imagine how many fields are on it or in that game, Krow, if you know by chance.
Yeah, I mean,
like what's
I mean, the general consensus of amongst the like the hardcore Nintendo community, like they have their gripes with this game, like the fact that there's not that many modes compared to the original GameCube title, right? Like it's definitely lacking in some regards. But yeah, we gotta see how the Strikers Club would turn out. Like I feel like that has an interesting element to it. It's like a strategic, like it's kind of like you're like the more you win, you get points, and the fact that you get to unlock customization of your court and like things like that is pretty interesting.
And then number two, I wanted to ask, because I know you said you played a couple online games. Now, speaking of Nintendo Online, as shitty as it is, how many games did you run into to where people was teleporting around the map using instant transmission? Did you like? How was the lag? Was it, you know what I'm saying? Was it super horrible, or was it decent?
Like, I mean, there was some latency input for sure, but there wasn't like people teleporting around or anything, and I didn't get disconnected as far as I know. I don't know if Krow has a better answer for it.
Yeah, I mean, over Wi-Fi, it's still pretty decent experience. Like, it's
what's the max amount of people who can play that? What is it, 4?
Yeah, online it's up to 4. Yeah, 2 per team.
Okay,
2 per team.
Yeah. Because I just wanted to ask, because I know with Mario Party, if whenever you play online, even if it's with people you know or with randoms, if one person in that lobby has a shitty internet connection, the whole lobby suffers. So I just want you understand that can major break.
When I streamed Mario Party Superstars before, like we had some people that were playing on Wi-Fi, and yeah, it created a lot of input latency. Which, I mean, Mario Party is still fun as hell to play online with Discord people and all that stuff. But yeah, it definitely you want to make sure everybody has a solid connection when you're playing games like that.
Okay, bet. And last question, Krow. I'm gonna be kind of slick with this, man. Would you say this game is worth $60?
I'm gonna keep it real. Like this is not worth the full $60 in my opinion. Same with other sports games. You know, Nintendo has a really good way of like showcasing their AA games as AAA price tag. And like this is with the lack of modes, I wouldn't say this is worth the full $60 price tag. But actually, I'm gonna get to that topic later because we have that topic later. Like, is the game worth $60? You know, we're gonna get to that later though.
That's why I gave you the layout.
If I can, I was gonna say if I can, I kind of want to throw in my little 2 cents there as to why the game might feel finished and why it's smart for Nintendo to do this. Because I bet you it was more of a publishing push more than anything, considering that World Cup is right around the corner. It's gonna make no sense to finish the game and drop the brand new strikers 6 months after the World Cup already passed. You get me? It's better to give you a polished half of a turd right now. You get me? Like it might be minimalistic. This might be literally a third of what the final game we want it to be. But the amount of push that we're going to get towards this game when that World Cup hits and the entire fucking globe is talking about soccer, it's going to be worth it. Let's just release it now, get the influx of players, and once we got them, then throw the DLC at them.
And I gotta say, like, those DLC is gonna be very, very specific, especially when it comes towards the World Cup side, because, you know, as all you know, I'm a big football fan, so I can already see the amount of fucking shit that they're gonna try and push out, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
I want to agree with y'all, but I can't put Nintendo shitty practices and be like, you know what, maybe they was just being smart.
No. I get exactly what you mean. I get what you mean.
I ain't trying to give them, like,
because the practices are shit.
But you're 100% right, because here's the thing: if they would have properly planned for this shit, they would have started development back just after the last World Cup ended, and be like, "Yo, we got 4 years to make a banger of a game."
Right.
And let's get it ready for 2022. Where currently, and again, this is based off of looks and what you guys are telling me. Sadly, I still don't own a fucking Switch. But yeah, bro, I'm falling behind. But based off of what you guys are telling me, it looks like it was more of a, hey, we might have spent about 2 years in development, and we don't have enough content to be able to release it all and then do a DLC wave. You get me? From what it sounds like, it looks like, hey, we have content, but we need to hold off on some of it so we can have DLC ready, because our pipeline isn't where it should be.
This has pretty much been all of Nintendo's online games as of recently, because Splatoon has a lot of free content that comes down the line. You know, both the other Mario Sports games have content that come for free later down the line. I'm pretty sure Strikers will have content for free that comes later down the line. So it sucks that there's a lack of content at launch. But the one thing I can at least count Nintendo on is to flesh this game out more with free DLC. Now, if they start charging for characters and all that stuff, then that's a problem. But at least when it comes to their online games, they will flesh them out a little bit more with free content.
Yeah.
And PlayStation's the only one who does not have multiplayer games right now.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying earlier, right? It's like Nintendo has a habit of doing this. And I mean, at what point is all the fans going to get tired of being drip-fed content that should have launched day and date in the game just because Nintendo wants to hold you there for as long as possible? Because of course, if they launch Daisy into the game and she has a new moveset or better gear, of course you're going to want to jump back into the game to try Daisy out on your squad against, you know, some of the homies. But I mean, that's just me in my opinion. I don't agree with Nintendo drip-feeding content.
Like, they will buy whatever they release.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I don't think the drip feeding the content is the bad part. I think is the initial amount of content that they give you not being enough.
It's definitely
like that's a Destiny practice that we've seen from way back when. Like where you just like, yo, okay, I love it. I can't wait to play the next part. Wait for the DLC, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I think it's just that practice coming out, but I don't know,
But I
man.
think
Like,
we're also spoiled with it because like a lot of the popular multiplayer games are free to play, and this is a $60 Nintendo game that we're still having to wait on free content. Granted, the content is free, but it's the fact that you have to pay $60 to get access to the game in the first place, which may rub people the wrong way. So I see that side clearly.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So just to close it off here, I just wanted to say that this is definitely very good. When it comes to the presentation, like when it goes to the replay system, like as soon as someone scores a goal, like the replay system is overall really great, and also the super strikes that they have is pretty well done as well, and like it does give character personalities and it fleshes that out. So I do like that aspect of it. And actually, let's move on to the Quarry, and this is another controversial $70 game that did release last Friday. And I'm gonna pass it to Bam Bam. And what were your thoughts on what you played with the with this game so far?
Yeah, man. So I saw this game. I forgot when they showed it, what showcase, but I seen it and it immediately gave me Until Dawn vibes. So going in playing this game, I was going in with the same premise of having a super huge cast. A-list actors are in the game. Don't ask me their name. I do not know their name. I do not care. All I know is that they pulled up with another list of pretty good actors. So the game, I'm probably about 2 or 3 hours in right now because my wife wants to watch me play. So she's sitting down watching me play as I play. So I'm operating on her schedule. But it's a pretty solid game, man. Graphics are amazing. The whole right now, man. I just seen some pretty crazy shit. I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but I'm liking the setting. I'm liking the the overall vibes, the arching character stories that are bound to happen because you play with a group of counselors and it seems like some of them want to get freaky with the other one. So you might see somebody pop out a titty. I don't know. I ain't made it that far. I don't know, bro. I have not made it that far, but if I had to. Like right now, I am enjoying this game way more than I enjoyed Little Hope and Man of Medan. So if I had to do a tier list, it would go Until Dawn, House of Ashes because House of Ashes was fucking amazing, and then the Quarry because this game, just like House of Ashes, will support multiplayer. Unfortunately, right now, multiplayer is not part of the game. I heard that's coming later on, so in July. So if you was thinking about getting this game to co-op with a buddy or some friends, I don't know how many people could play. I know that it is support enough to at least 2 people playing. So if you wanted to play co-op, I would suggest waiting until late July, early July, just whenever that patch comes out. But that's how I feel about the Quarry, man. I think it's a pretty good pick. Oh yeah, one more thing about the Quarry, man. So sorry about that. One more thing. The motion blur is atrocious, bro. And right now, I do not know how to turn it off. I went into the settings to see if I could turn it all the way off. Right now, there is no way to turn it all the way off that I could find. But other than that, man, I'm loving the game.
Right, yeah, just by looking at the trailer, I did see that, there are some few familiar faces there. Like you have, I think there was one actor who did Detective Pikachu, and there was also another actress. Actually, I did take a sneak peek of someone else's gameplay. It was like the first hour or so. Yeah, there was one character that looked like she was from Modern Family. Was that the actress? Like the girl with the...
Talking about the blonde hair chick?
The girl with the pink hair. Like she kind of looked like the girl.
Yeah, you talking about damn it, what's her name? She played Abigail. You talking about the chick from Modern Family? Her name is Ariel something. Ariel. Yeah. I don't know her name. I know her first name is Ariel. I know that.
Right. Yeah. So compared to this game and Until Dawn from before, how did you vibe with the personalities of the characters?
Yeah, so like I said, man, this game right off the bat, you click with these characters. Like, so there's Abigail, Caitlin, and what the hell's the other chick's name? Anyway, so there's 3 chicks, and then you have four dudes. And like I said, they're all counselors. They all have they all have their own reasons as to why they wanted to stay or leave the camp, because something happens in the beginning that makes them have to stay there. And that's when everything starts kicking off. But each one of these characters, they all have their own motivations, their own ambitions. And as you play, you start to unravel more and more relationships between each one of these characters, which is why I said I'm feeling like a titty might pop out somewhere. I don't know, but that's really what I made it for. You know what I'm saying?
I can't with him, bro.
Oh my god.
He said end goal confirmed.
But nah, man. You're definitely gonna. These characters right now, man. Like I said, I'm only like 2-3 hours in because I've been walking around trying to collect stuff. I'm not. I don't know if you're gonna vibe with these characters more than the characters in Until Dawn because, I mean, for most that was everybody's first foray into these newer Telltale games. That's what I call them, the AAA versions of those games. So, and Until Dawn had a super A-list category of characters in it. So, but these characters are good, man. They aren't bland. They aren't trash like they were in Man of Medan. So, I'm pretty sure most people, when you pick this up, you're gonna click immediately with these characters.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I did hear that this time around it has much more endings, like compared to their previous titles. Like I believe they super what was the studio?
Supermassive.
Yeah.
I think that's the name.
Yeah, Supermassive. They did make Man of Medan and Until Dawn, as you said before. Like people are saying like this one has way more alternate endings, and like do you get a sense of that? Have you had like some character that's you were unexpected, or like
I mean,
how do you feel about that?
So I haven't lost a character yet, but I mean, I guess you could say it probably would if you're going off endings as in, because in each one of these other games, the endings that you could get would determine if you killed all the characters, that was the ending. If all the characters survived, that was the ending, and then depending on what characters died, that were huge plot points within the story. Like, you know what I'm saying? If let's say you lost 2 characters, then the story would end up changing depending on what characters you lost. Or so if you lost one character, that's an ending. If you lost another character, that's another ending. So I mean, really, I would say there's only really 3 real endings. I feel like at this point we're talking about like near automata endings, because that's another game that has so many endings, but there's only a few of those that really even matter if you really want to get into it. And I feel like this is one of those games because, like I said, if you lose 1, 2, 3 characters out of the 7 or out of the 6, then that's going to be another ending. If you get me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. So do you have any closing thoughts on this? Actually, I wanted to go into is the game worth $60 compared to Mario Strikers and the Quarry after that?
Well, I haven't played Mario Strikers, but I would say yes, this game is worth $60 in my opinion. Even though I paid more than $60.
Okay.
I bought a PS5, so $70.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, let's move on to this topic here. So on Friday, we did have 2 controversial titles released, and they were both $60. Well, one was the Krow, which is $70 on PS5, and we have Mario Strikers, which is a full $60. And like to me, like when I picked up Mario Strikers, like my justification was that this is yet another online title that I could pick up, and this makes the Switch Online worth it in my opinion, right? Like because one day I might go into Mario Kart, the other night I might go into Mario Strikers, or I may even go into Mario Tennis Aces one night, you know what I'm saying? So like for me, this really it really just justifies my online purchase when it comes to that. But we also have the Quarry, which is just a straight up story driven game. And even though it is much longer than what they made before with the Until Dawn and Man of Medan, how do you feel about the length of the Quarry? Like, is this worth $60 to you, Bam Bam?
So, I mean, it's kind of like beauty being in the eye of the beholder, right? So, I mean, of course, this game is probably only going to end up being 3 hours to 4 hours long after you play it, a couple times. You can jump in and speed run it, but I would say, yes, to me, I can only speak for myself. To me, this game is worth every penny that I paid for it because I'm loving the game, the graphics, just AAA. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm definitely got my bang for my buck. I'm not feeling like I bought a game and I was gypped. So yes, I would say yes.
All right, cool. And let's move on to the Melodic Punk. And like, what are your thoughts on this? Is if you compare Mario Strikers and the Quarry, which one is worth $60 to you?
So, even I would say Mario Strikers I think would have been better at $40 or $50 with the content that's out right now. Personally, I'm okay with spending $60 with Mario Strikers, mainly just because with the Quarry, I see that game. I'm not really into the whole Telltale type of game. Like, to me, like, whenever it comes to video games, I want to play something that has fun gameplay, and Mario Strikers, to me, just has something that's more appealing than the Quarry. I'm not gonna dismiss, those Telltale, like, story-based games that have a lot of great presentation or everything. People are gonna like those. You like what you like. But for me, when it comes to video games, I'm in there to play them. So for me, it's like I'd rather have something that's more gameplay focused than a story focused. But of course, that's me.
Yeah, yeah, I do feel the same way with the Quarry, like, and I feel like especially people who do stream this game, I do kind of feel like it kind of loses its value a bit. But it depends on the player, right? Like I do feel that if you're purchasing this game, like, you can either watch a Let's Player play it, or you can experience the story yourself, and like you want to know what happens with all the different outcomes and things like that, right?
Because oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, because I knew a few people I used to work with, they would watch all of PlayStation games on YouTube. But the argument I can make for PlayStation exclusive games is like games like Spider-Man and, for some people, The Last of Us Part 2, Horizon, all that stuff. At least those games have a varied amount of gameplay to them, especially Spider-Man. I love the gameplay in Spider-Man. I love swinging around. So it adds to that experience. But with something like The Quarry or something like a Telltale's, Walking Dead type of game, for me, it's just like literally the thing you're getting out of there is story. So for someone like me, who's like, let's say if I wanted to watch Death Stranding instead of play it, that would make more sense because, at least I'm getting what's valued out of that game. Whereas with these other games, it's just at least they have the gameplay involved in them.
I feel like I just want to jump in for a second. I feel like whenever we talk about value and things, whenever we talk about certain games, again, the Telltale games and even games from Supermassive, these games are all about you playing it for yourself and you having to make these choices for your first time. So of course, if you jump on Twitch or if you jump on YouTube and if you watch somebody play it, you're gonna see the story. But I'm telling you right now, nothing compares to you sitting down with with your girlfriend, your brother, your homies in the Discord. If you want to play and stream it, what I'm saying, or even play and do some couch co-op, nothing is gonna compare to you sitting down, having the sticks inside your own hand, and you making these choices in the blink of an eye, and then probably causing one of these characters to die. I feel like that is where this game or these types of games, especially the Telltale games, I feel like this is where these games transcend the whole sitting down for the story narrative, because these games are more than just about the story. Again, I feel like the biggest draw for these games are just the player and the experience. So, I mean, like I said, man, I understand what y'all saying, bro, but I mean, Mario Strikers, to me, if I had to choose one of them, I still would have chose what I chose, because I was looking at getting Mario Strikers over this. But like I said, for me earlier, looking at the Nintendo Switch Online's capabilities and just thinking about my experiences that I've had on Super Mario Party with just one person makes the whole room lag up. I mean, that was definitely a factor. So again, I mean, I really think it depends on the person. It's just like you said, Melodic. If you want to play with the homies, pick up Mario Strikers, and if you just want to sit down, turn off the lights, maybe see a titty pop out. Hey man, the Quarry could be for you. The Quarry could be for you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Slow-mo's making fun of me on the way I say the Quarry. I don't know, Slow-mo. Tell me how I should say it.
I would say Quarry.
Quarry. The Quarry.
Yeah. The Quarry.
All right. So yeah, that's it's definitely a good ending comment with Bam Bam. You definitely killed it with that. And let's actually move on to the Microsoft Bethesda showcase. And listen, man, like Xbox has been getting a lot of L's lately. Especially with a lot of people have been left pretty disappointed with the E3 2021 show. The fact that it was mostly all CGI. But But honestly, like for me personally, I would rate the E3 show much better than the show that they had this year. Even though that they have like a lot more gameplay this time around, I do feel that the overall pacing and the games that they showed last year, it was much better than this year here. So right before we get into the details of the the individual titles and things like that, let's actually move on to your first impressions. And what were your overall impressions after the showcase ended? And let's start with Bam Bam V3.
So I gotta disagree with you. I wouldn't say this show was complete dog shit. I mean, going in all the way. So the first time when I sat down and watched it live, I was sitting at a 3. By the time it got to the end, until they showed Starfield, I was sitting at a 3, right? And that's just me going off things that I seen that I cared for during the show, which was High on Life, which is a game made by the Rick and Morty creators, and Squanch. What is it? Squanch Studios. That game for me stole the show. So that was one of the games that I did go away from liking. Naraka Blade Point is coming to Xbox Game Pass. That's that's a pretty big pickup. Shredder's Revenge is dropping tomorrow, day and date Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, that's fire,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Hollow Knight. So seeing Hollow Knight Silk Song also be announced to coming on Game Pass whenever that game comes out. Because Team Cherry, I don't know what they're doing. But whenever that game drops, that's a big pickup. Xbox landing all the Persona games, well, not all the Persona games, but Persona 3, 4, 5. That's a big pickup for Xbox gamers. So, that was pretty big. What else did they show? They announced Valheim, which is a big PC game. I think that game was made by Amazon. That was their first foray into gaming. That game is coming to Xbox Game Pass as well. Diablo, exactly. Diablo 4. Then you had a bunch of other
big one for a lot of people.
Then you had a bunch of other games coming from Riot Games, right? You had Valorant was coming. It's coming to Xbox. You got
we're gonna talk about that much later on, but
okay.
Actually,
I got you. Okay,
yeah,
so let me
With
wrap
a
it up.
partnership
it's like a partnership. It's like they're trying to convince the PC community of Riot to get into the Xbox ecosystem, and like what they're doing is pretty smart. Like I'm not gonna lie, like it's pretty smart.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
So
I have
those
plenty
are
to
just
say
a
about
few
that
games.
later,
Those are just a few games. Again, most of those games I do not care about, but after watching the show and initially I gave it a 6 because I thought the show was mid. But going back and rewatching it, dissecting it, seeing what's coming to the Xbox Game Pass ecosystem and Xbox PC Game Pass, there's a lot of things coming that even if I don't like these games, a lot of people do like these games. So, like I said, I did think the show was mid for me personally, but looking at it again, I could see how it was decent. I would still give that shit a 6 because they showed a couple good games and a bunch of mid. So for me, I gave it a 6 out of 10 because nothing there really like wowed me. It wasn't like last year where they showed a bunch of dope ass games. The problem also with this before I finally sit back and shut up and let somebody else talk. The problem with this also was that right, is that you remember last year after the E3 showcase for 2021, what did everybody say? Oh man, we can't wait for 2022. That's gonna be the year for Xbox. They got a bunch of dope ass games coming. Then boom, fast forward to 2022. E3 time pop up around. Guess what happened? A bunch of these dope ass games. Forza Motorsport 8. What else? Minecraft Legends. What else? Redfall, Stalker 2, Atomic Heart. A bunch of these games got pushed to 2023. So now what is Xbox fans saying? Oh man, that was a good ass show. Can't wait for 2023. It's kind of like we inside the fucking Twilight Zone at this point. So, you know what I mean? But other than that, man, that's really just all my thoughts on that. Krow, you there?
Oh, bro, whenever he stops talking, it got so fucking quiet in here.
Hey, right.
Yeah,
So,
I gotta say, man, as far as like the way that you like how you felt about it, much props. I honestly didn't expect you to analyze it that deep and give them credit in areas for sure. So much props.
Bet.
I guess
I think Crow's having mic problems.
Melodic?
Yeah, go ahead, Melodic.
Okay, so I'm the one who's a bit more negative about it, but I'm mainly looking at it through a lens of Xbox exclusive, like game studios, what they announced and all that stuff. I gave the show a 4 out of 10, and I posted a video on my channel giving my raw reaction right after the stream. I did not like the showcase. I'm sorry it disappointed a lot of people for saying that. I mean, yes, Redfall is looking cool. I'm a fan of like games like Left 4 Dead and all that stuff. I'm interested in that. But then my biggest problem with Microsoft Game Studios or Xbox Game Studios is they have all these different studios. They own a bunch of intellectual property, yet we're seeing things like Obsidian make games like The Pentiment, which, yes, I'm into like the very like art style looking, artsy looking games and everything, but I'm just sitting here and I'm like, who is asking for stuff like this? Like, you have a bunch of different studios. You could be bringing back something like a Banjo-Kazooie or a Conker's Bad Fur Day. I know the initiative's working on a Perfect Dark reboot and all that stuff. So for me, just seeing the new stuff that was announced was just very disappointing. Acid Dusk Falls, it looks like another one of those story-based adventure games, which they have a fan base, they have an audience, but for me, that's not what I'm looking for, especially when it's coming from Xbox. Forza Motorsport looks good from a technical standpoint, although like if I was getting into Forza, I'd play the Horizon games. Minecraft Legends looks like it could be cool. Aura History Untold looks like it's going to be a tactics sort of game. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, with the amount of hype that Starfield has gotten, it does not look very impressive at all. I'm going to be 100% honest. There's a lot of frame rate dips. There's a lot of cool customization that's going to come with that game. They're saying that there's going to be a bunch of different planets that you're going to be able to visit that's probably going to be generated and all that stuff. But it's got those Bethesda flaws that are right behind it. And yes, it's back in the oven. It's getting delayed till 2023. But I'm going to be perfectly honest, I was just not impressed with Starfield. And I think this game is going to suffer with the amount of hype that it's getting. Now, in terms of everything else that's going to Game Pass, there are a few titles that I'm actually very much interested in. High on Life is a game, like, I'm not a huge Rick and Morty fan, but that game looks creative enough to where I definitely want to sit down and try it out. It's fantastic that the Persona games are finally coming to Xbox, which is weird that those games are going to Xbox and Windows first before going to a Nintendo platform. I'm just pushing that out right there. And the Xbox guys that have been wanting the Persona games, this is your time. Put your money where your mouth is. Buy those games. Show Atlas that you want more Japanese games on the platform. Otherwise, you're not getting any more of them. Ravenlock looks something that's really cool. The Last Case of Benedict Fox actually looks really cool, and I hope that's more of a
I forgot about that
game. Erebon looks really cool.
Erebon, yes. Yeah, that's a sleeper hit for me.
Yeah. A Plague Tale Requiem. I have not played the previous game, but based on that gameplay, it's something I would like to go back and look into. Scorn's looking fantastic. Hollow Knight Silksong. I have not played the original Hollow Knight, but I like Metroidvanias. I definitely want to check it out. TMNT going into Game Pass is fantastic. But my problem is that these games that I'm sitting here giving praise to, they're going to be available on other platforms. Yeah, not just Xbox and PC, but
I got a question.
I'm going to be seeing those
Melodic.
on.
Wait.
Third-party games, right? Hold on.
Okay, all right. Okay.
How did you feel? It's gonna be quick. How did you feel about the PlayStation State of Play that happened about 2 weeks ago? What did you score that?
I mean, I don't think I gave it a proper score. I think I would probably give it like a 6 or a 7. But that's mainly just because like PlayStation VR is something like a lot of the VR stuff they showed is very interesting. But if anything, like Resident Evil 4 remake, that's a big deal for a lot of people. A lot of people.
That's gonna be on everything else too, though. But that's going to be everywhere else.
True. That is true. That is very much valid.
Everything that they showed during that showcase, besides the PSVR stuff, was confirmed to be multiplayer.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked you, how did you feel about that one? Because you said that you didn't really care for this showcase because of the multiplayer stuff, but the State of Play things was also multiplayer. But then again, you did say that you was hyped for the VR2 stuff. But that's all I wanted to ask you about. That's it. I just want to know.
I mean, because with the State of Play stuff, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that really like got me really excited was the fact that Spider-Man's coming to PC. But even like I said, with the PlayStation Showcase, it was a bunch of third-party stuff. So it's like I've either am gonna experience on another platform or I already experienced it in the first place. But I think PlayStation went ahead and like said like, hey, like don't expect a whole lot of shit in this. Like I'm pretty sure they said something like that.
They did. They said it was gonna be third-party in VR.
But with the new Xbox stuff, especially with the game studio stuff, it's just like it leaves a lot more to be desired, in my opinion, when we're talking about Xbox PC exclusives for the Xbox.
At this point, though, Melodic, when we talk about Xbox, don't we? I thought everybody assumed that most of the stuff is gonna be third party. Because what's the mantra? Xbox don't got no first party games because they always do third party stuff.
Well, I mean, that's true, but in that case, I'd be saying it's more console exclusive, like, because things like Valheim, for example, it's like, yeah, it's been on PC forever, but as of right now, unless there's a PlayStation plan for it, you're only going to be able to play that game on Xbox.
Yeah.
So that's why I make
pretty
a clear
interesting
distinction with Xbox and PC when it comes to like Xbox Game Studio stuff, because I doubt we're going to see something like Redfall or Starfield on PlayStation at all.
Well, it is pretty interesting to see like what is Xbox strategy moving forward. Like I do think that, like, I mean, in the beginning they made this whole deal about Xbox Series X 12 teraflops of performance, but you also have the S, right? And a lot of people were saying like, oh, when the S was revealed, oh, the S is holding back gaming. But when you think about like their strategy, like with all these AA games, like I feel like they are trying to cater to the S, with many of these games coming out.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting to kind of see Xbox's strategy kind of switch to that. But I do want to hear Joker Gamer's V3 thoughts. And this guy rated the 2021 E3 Xbox Show 5.1. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Alright. So first of all, the show was, compared to last year, it was a definite improvement, because the last year was a bit disappointing for me in many ways, especially the E3 one, right? So compared to that, this is definitely gone up a level. I wouldn't say that it was neither bad or good in any way. It's just mediocre in a lot of sense, because again, there's a lot of games that didn't really capture my interest, right? Apart from few, which is basically the Rick and Morty game High on Life, right? Then along with that, what was that game called? Oh shit. Wolong? I think it's called Wolong, right?
Yeah, Wolong.
Right. That looks interesting for me, right? Especially considering there was a legacy of Ninja Gaiden, the legacy of Ninja Gaiden had on the original Xbox console. This is something that I'm going to be looking forward to as well, because it kind of reminds me of Neo, right, in many ways. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that game goes. I'm also happy that the fact that Persona collections come on Xbox as well, so that it introduces a lot of things, because I just started playing Persona 5 and I'm already hooked onto it, right? So
yeah,
it's nice. It's nice to see that people are going to get some kind of like a introduction to it for the people who never played it before, especially to a mass audience that owns Game Pass, right? So that's a good thing. Second thing is Diablo 4 looks interesting. I played the Diablo 1, 2, 3, so I'm going to be checking that out. I didn't really give a shit about Arc 2, to be honest with you. Like, I just literally didn't give two shits about it. I just looked at it as they're like, alright, there's something that is not interesting for me. However, Forza Motorsport 8, the fact that, like, because we play a lot of racing games, BAM, do. We play a lot of racing games, so I'm going to be looking forward to that, just so I can see how this game has improved from the previous Motorsport, and also how it compares to Horizon 5 itself. But then again, the major question is, because there's going to be a lot of comparison to Gran Turismo 7 and everything like that, while we were watching the showcase, right? I brought this up to Windu as well, and Windu and me were discussing about it, right? So we were like, does it feel like the textures feel somewhat dull in the game? Like when they were showing all of that, like it just felt like it was lackluster in many ways. It just didn't pop to the eye, especially in the video that we've seen. So it just didn't feel like, okay, it looks like a next generation game, don't get me wrong, everything like that. You can see that they have some cool mechanics within the game, etc., etc. But the overall presentation did not show to me until they showed the engine part of the car, right? Until then, the game did not capture my interest. in a
Like
lot
the
of
car
ways.
model.
Exactly, that's it. That's the car model was what got to me, and also I was looking for. I was telling Windu as well, like, yo, I can't wait to try out some of the tracks and cars that's gonna be in there, just so we can have like a side-by-side comparison, right? When we're talking simulation kind of games, it's fair to assess Gran Turismo 7 and Motorsport to each other. You know what I mean? So it's fair to
Yeah.
assess it that way.
I
So
got a
I want to
question
see
for you,
what.
Joker, about the whole Gran
Sorry.
Turismo 7 and Forza Motorsport 8 comparisons, right? You said you and Windu watched it and it looked dull. Did y'all go back and rewatch that same trailer in 4K?
I haven't watched it in 4K. I will give it a shot. But however, while we were watching this on live, it's just a completely different thing because at the end of the day, you're trying to capture an audience, right? Like we watched Gran Turismo 7 on not even on 4K, right? And we watched Gran Turismo 7 trailer release on 1080p because I watched it with Windu, right? And it was still captivating for that 1080p product, right?
Yeah.
Whereas on the 1080p for the Motorsport 8, it didn't capture my attention as much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
comparing in those two aspects, like I said, I'm giving a fair assessment to each other in both ways, without being biased, saying that I own Gran Turismo 7 already. However,
Yeah.
I also own Game Pass, so I'm looking forward to try Motorsport 8 too.
Yeah, day one.
Exactly. So yeah, that's like one of my main things. The second main thing is me and Windu are big TFT players, right? So we play a lot of Riot Games. So that partnership is huge, especially considering the fact that a lot of characters and a lot of, there's going to be a lot of content for us to explore and check it out. So that's a big, massive thing for us, right? So that's another thing. But apart from that, showing games like Overwatch 2, I'm like, no, that's not something that I'm interested in. Hollow Knights definitely look cool. Not gonna lie. What was the other game there? It was like a flip book kind of a thing.
Intimate.
That's it. That looked quite interesting to me. That looked more innovative to me. And I can't wait to try that game out too. Because the fact is that, like, it starts off, you're playing around inside a story, like, they gave you the whole imagination that it is a story that they're narrating while being inside a book, and then afterwards you're progressing through it, and then all of a sudden the motherfucker comes out of the book and it's all into a 3D. I'm like, yo, that is innovative as shit. That's creative.
You talking about that game I shared the other day? You talking about
Lucky Squire?
Yeah, he's talking about
Lucky Squire.
Oh, listen right there. That's the best game.
Yeah.
That is the best new game we've seen all summer.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's true.
Are making that game. That game needs to be supported. Fuck all this AAA shit. The Lucky Squire needs to be supported. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, like that's the game that thing. So that was interesting for me to. That is the game that throughout this whole entire special events show that was going on, that's what captured my attention to that particular game. All right. But however, speaking on Xbox, the one thing that really didn't get to me was I did not like. I don't know what the game is about. The Pentiment, right?
Yeah, that's the little story.
I don't know what's going on with that game.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with that game either. I mean, I was just like, what the fuck? It's cool to see that Kojima partnered with Microsoft to release some games, I guess, right? So it's not like, what was it? I saw a bunch of shit on Twitter, which is like, makes me sit there and go like, yo, this motherfuckers don't even think before saying anything or tweeting anything, right?
Yeah, a lot of PlayStation fans upset.
It's like it's partnered, right? That doesn't mean
he's
gonna...
mad though, right? Because it's like, number one, he didn't show no gameplay. Number one, number two, this is projects that he was working on with Google Stadia, and they said it was gonna be through the cloud. So if it's not gonna be on a disc, or if I can't play this regularly, I could give two fucks about the cloud because, bro, that shit is not ready at this point. The cloud is not an experience for everybody. So.
Like, look at it this way, like, he partnered, right? So he partnering is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
It brings out competitiveness, and also it grows his company, Kojima Productions, to a bigger scale and gets more marketing, sales, etc., etc. It's of course it's going to be beneficial. But did Xbox snatch him? I don't think he snatched it, bro. Come on, they didn't snatch him in any
Nah,
way.
it's
Do you know what I mean? It's just like maybe he might just create like collaborative projects and then afterwards give his input, etc., etc. I can see that happening, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think they have like completely and also the fact is that because Persona came on Xbox, I saw a lot of fucking shit on Twitter as well. Is they like destroying their consoles and shit? Like you stupid, because corporate do not give a shit about what you do with your product after you have already given their money. Given your money to them in their pockets. It's already in their pockets. What you gonna benefit of destroying your product? All right, you do your thing, right? So it's one of those things. And what is it? Naraka Blade Point coming onto the Game Pass, big, because Naraka Blade Point has got a huge following over the past year or so. Because when it originally dropped, me, Windu, Jeej, played that straight up from the get-go, right? So after a while it became a bit dull for us because it felt like there was no new content given to us or anything like that, and we just kind of drifted away from it. But it's good to see that it's gaining a lot of following again, and it's coming on Xbox, which open up the variety for a lot of players to hop in and try and play that, which is a very unique battle royale. So it's a melee style battle royale where you're going around and you're trying to win the game in many ways. So there's 3 modes in it. There is single player, 2 players, and 3v3. So 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3, and a lot of characters within that game has got a lot of very different abilities and uniqueness to them. So it's kind of dope. Starfield. Shit, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first saw it, I just thought this looks a legit like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah, I had the same reaction.
It's the first thing that came into my head immediately. As I carried on watching it, I didn't feel like there was a concept within the game. I just felt like, all right, you know what? This is a AAA developed game. Have created this universe for all the players to hop into. I've given them a bunch of shit that they can do, and the best thing to be hidden behind is an exploration or a survival genre, right? Because you're gonna look at it as be like, oh, I can explore many planets, I can explore many things, I can customize the things. But did you look at the character models? I'm sorry, some of the character models looks horrible. Right, they need to tweak it. Of course, it's still in the production. I'm gonna give them a benefit of doubt for the next year or so to fix certain things. But some of the character models kind of disappointed me. All the hype that was built up until this trailer dropped was unnecessary in many ways, because a lot of people who felt hyped up because of another person hyping up the game, after watching that, must have felt a lot disappointed than what they initially would have felt, right? So that's another thing from me. Microsoft Simulator, again, is the same thing. I'm not that much into Microsoft Simulator. It looks interesting, but however, Microsoft Simulator always look good, right? So there is nothing that I can actually compare it to apart from the previous titles that they have released. But then again, it's when they release Microsoft Simulator, it's not like a yearly drop. They drop it every few, about 5-6 years later, you know what I mean? So of course there's going to be a very generational leap within that game. But yeah, Sea of Thieves, okay, that was one of the things that I was also interested in because I don't mind. Finally, I'm happy to see Grounded is finally released and it's come off of preview, so that's going to be a very interesting thing too. But overall, the show that I will give to that is a 6.5, right? Because there was a lot of disappointments and also a lot of good things. The good things that comes with it is the fact is that they have got so many games that's going to get released on the Xbox Game Pass, and at the same time they have partnered with Riot to give a lot of content to a lot of players out there just for owning a Game Pass. So yeah, that's my take on the Game Pass for this Xbox showcase this year.
Yeah, I mean the Riot partnership is definitely big for PC gamers, and I don't think a lot of console players are aware of the Riot ecosystem. So it's definitely going to be an interesting topic. We are going to get into that. But I did want to get into WinduTheMace's overall thoughts, and just to be brief, what are your overall thoughts of this Microsoft show?
Yeah, no worries though. I don't talk like Joker.
Hey,
So,
shut up, bro.
but no, man. I'll be honest with you. I overall gave it a 7, even though my interest in the actual games that they announced, like that I would actually play, it was very low. Like that part to me was lackluster. I gave them a 7 just because I see what they're doing with the Game Pass. I see the moves that they're making, and I see that for the upcoming generation of gamers that are getting introduced, typically starting on console because that's the cheapest, the fact that for the first 3 months they only got to pay $1 and they're getting all these fucking games, and then every other game that's going to get added down the road, basically, because they're basically turning into the Netflix of video gaming. So because of the moves that they're making for that side, I rated them much higher than I typically would have. And bro, I'll tell you, without going too much into detail, some of the partnerships that they made, including the Riot deal, are massive moves that a lot of people don't understand, for sure. And I'll keep it sweet and to the point until we actually break down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a good score there. For me, I would rate it. For me, it's actually a 5 out of 10. It definitely had a strong start. It had a strong finish. But what they've shown...
This took my ratings of Xbox from last year.
No, but like if you take it in, like what they had last year was a much better showing, in my opinion. Like when it comes to the quality of the games that were shown, like Forza Horizon 5, they had what was it? The only gameplay they shown, I believe, was Forza Horizon 5 and Stalker 2, right? Like those are the only 2 games that they showed, but the rest of the
they announced, but they didn't show gameplay for.
You talking about
Age of
gameplay
Empires
for
back
this
then.
showcase, bro? Or you talking about last year?
Yeah, I'm talking about last year, 2021 E3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because they showed hella gameplay this year.
Yeah, but like overall, like the pacing of last year was much better. Like I do like the titles that were shown last year. It's unfortunate that they didn't have any update on like Obsidian's game Avowed.
Mm-hmm.
This time around, or there's no update on Hellblade 2, and so that was kind of disappointing for me.
Nothing.
A lot of games was not there, bro. Contraband was not there. Perfect Dark was not there. State of Decay 3 was not there. No word on the Coalition's next title, bro. Fable, what the hell is Fable? They showed that shit to us when 2020. It's been years in development. Where is it? What's going on? You see what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with what you're saying, Krow. Last year was definitely a standout for CGI trailers and announcements as far as big AAA titles from Xbox goes compared to this year.
It's crazy because we've seen a lot of like reports of GoldenEye 007 remastered getting achievements listed on different websites and everything, and we didn't even see anything about that. And I think an anniversary of that game is coming up, so I don't know if Nintendo is going to be showing something of that first because they're kind of like a part of this whole legal thing with it, or it's just going to be like a developer only thing for it, because getting that game out is probably going to be worth a lot of money because they have to go through movie licenses, and then they have to go through Nintendo because they're the ones who are helping out Rare back in the day making it. But if I saw something like that, it would have definitely bumped my score up a little bit more. But with last year's show, yeah, there's a lot of CGI stuff, but there was also a lot of new games announced that we'll see in the future. So it's kind of a catch-22 because I'd rather see gameplay for everything, but I felt like last year's announcements were a lot more hyped.
I mean, like if you look at it like on the first party scale, but this year alone, they showed a shit ton of brand new games that nobody knew about. I would argue that if we got I can't do it right now, but later on, Melodic, we're gonna have to get it up on the screen, bro. List for list, bar for bar. I'm willing to bet you that this year had more new titles announced than what they showed last year, because they came with the shit this year. A shit ton of new titles.
For Game Pass, like, yeah, it's looking great for Game Pass, but again, like, I'm very traditionalist when it comes to these, like, E3 shows and everything. I want to see what's going to be only available on this platform.
Xbox. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I feel you.
Hell, Party Animals, I want to play that shit in Game Pass. We got to get some multiplayer going on.
When is that dropping? So I can clap y'all.
But that would be a perfect stream game to get multiplayer.
Y'all let me know, man. Windu, I want you to bring your big head ass there too, so you can get clapped up. Party Animals is going down. Clapping your cheek.
Anytime, anywhere, bruh.
Oh, he's talking smack now. He said anytime, anywhere.
Make sure it ain't on the Switch because I can't show up to those.
All right, bet. I'm gonna make sure I pull out a Switch game, just so that way I can save face.
I'm gonna have to come over and be like, "Hey, man, I'll bring some pizza. Let me play."
Hey,
All right. Yeah. Actually, we should be on. We should play Windjammers again, man. That was kind of fun.
Here he go with this shit again.
Get on
bro.
Splitgate. I want to see people on Splitgate.
Yeah, I will play Splitgate with you. Yeah.
Hey, yo, why you talking about Splitgate when Halo is out, bro? What's up?
Halo has no content.
Hey, man, we ain't gonna talk about that right now, man. Krow, what's the next topic, bro?
All right, so let's get into let's do a deep dive of the show here, and one of the big topics was the Wired partnership with the Xbox Game Pass. And a lot of console people, they don't know too much about Riot Games, but this is definitely big amongst the PC community when they talk about League of Legends, who's been over 10 years now with the game being online. And it had numerous updates, and it's definitely a huge esport. And when it does happen on Twitch, the esports, it definitely pops off. That you do get around 30K viewers. I believe like 30K plus viewers each time it drops.
I think last time it dropped, it had about 89,000. I think that was the biggest viewing they had on Twitch last time they had. So 89,000 is big.
Riot Esports finales gets more views than the United States Super Bowl.
Yeah, true.
That's crazy.
True. That is very true. What was it?
But...
I think there was a winter tournament that happened not long ago, and that had about 90,000 people just watching. And I tell you what, the fucking game that was going on was hectic as hell, bro. If you knew how the game works, you'll definitely enjoy it more.
Yeah, but if you take it in, like how Wired is going moving forward, like they do have a lot of mobile games out right now. They do have the League of Legends mobile. They do have the League of Legends mobile, Legends of Runeterra. That's a pretty good card game that's available on mobile. And they've also had Teamfight Tactics, right? And
also available mobile, yeah.
And Xbox marketing, how they're marketing the service right now with the cloud streaming, like they are trying to put the emphasis on mobile gamers as well. So this is a pretty interesting partnership with Wired. The fact that they have their own mobile games also, and like when it comes to the microtransactions, like the fact that you get all the champions for free, that's like over $100 of value right there. That's just hundreds of dollars of value right there.
So check this out, guys. As somebody that's an avid Riot supporter, breaking it down, look at League of Legends alone. That's one out of the 5 games that were mentioned. If you buy every single character as a brand new player in League of Legends, it literally will come out to just over $1,000. In League of Legends alone, they have over like 140 different champions. Each champion being anywhere between $3 to like $20 if it's a new one. And then on top of that, you're getting every single character on Valorant. You're getting every single character on Wild Rift, which is the mobile version. Mm-hmm. You're getting exclusives for Teamfight Tactic, a strategy game. And then you're getting an entire set of cards, which is quite a bit of a grind for their card game. It's like getting an extra starter pack, so to speak. Like, I don't think people realize the amount that you save just by having this is astronomical. And then on top of that, at the end of 2021, Riot confirmed 180 million active players across their games. The amount of people that are going to get this just to get access to all the content that I talked about, get the Game Pass, and the amount of people that are going to be like, yo, you're telling me, again, for the first 3 months, it's $1. After that, it's literally only $10 if I'm a PC player. And I get all of these fucking Xbox games. And I get all of this Riot DLC for free. For $10 a month?
Huge.
Bro. Like that partnership right there, I think individuals that don't realize how big Riot Games is, Riot is one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, owned by Tencent. If I'm not mistaken, Tencent is the largest mobile gaming company in the world in general.
Yep.
Partnering
and
with
also
them is massive.
And also the fact is that they got Project M, which is the fighting game, right? So that's on the works, and it's gonna get released soon. We don't know exactly when that's gonna drop off yet. So I'm telling you, that's going to pick up a lot of players as well on top of it. And if they're already partnered with Game Pass at this point, of course there are some DLCs that's going to be exclusive to Game Pass as well. And like Windu said, right, that's a huge deal. Especially me playing Wild Rift on mobile and playing TFT and Legends of Runeterra, bro, I can save a shit ton of money, and that is one of the best things because I get to now try out other things and explore different options within the game. And yeah, man, I can't wait for that to happen. Looking forward to it.
Can I ask you guys a question? There was I want to say a few months ago, Xbox was boasting that Horizon 5 had reached a peak amount of players like never before. Do we remember that number? Was it 15 million or 30 million?
I don't remember
about that.
It might have been 15. I don't know if it was 30 or not.
Yeah, so let's say 15 just to be on the safe side, right? So imagine they were happy that they got to 15 million, and that's a big number for a game by all means, right? Now imagine multiplying that 10 times and then some. That's the potential player base that they are now reaching with this Riot partnership.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like, and this is why, again, I rated them so high, because even though the list of games coming did not attract me, right? What they are doing is they are becoming the Netflix of gaming. They're emphasizing on that. Like, it's very sad that they're basically saying we don't give a shit about our first party games, but their goal is to become this massive live service that reaches around worldwide, because Riot's influence in Asia, there is nothing that comes close to Riot influence in Asia. Nothing. No game, no company, nothing. You're either Riot or you're trash in the Asia community. And it's wild at how big of a community that is. Being able to tap that audience and then the rest of the world with again, $1 a month for the first 3 months, even at that $1 for 180 million players is a lot of fucking money for Xbox. And imagine how many more studios are going to buy with that and keep adding to the service, because I don't see them shelling out Marvel quality budgets for a Marvel movie. I see them paying for 100 TV shows and going the Netflix route. Does that make sense when I give that example?
Yeah, it does.
It makes sense, man, but it's kind of that's when it starts to get muddy, and that's when people start to that's when people start to hold that's when they start getting scared, because I don't want to think about it becoming Netflix. When the reason why I fell in love with Xbox was because of Fable, it was because of Gears, it was because of Halo, it was because of those third-party deals that they was making. But those third-party deals were for huge AAA games like Alan Wake back in the day on 360. But now when you start talking about this Netflix thing, and if you look at the showcase, it's just like what I said earlier. There was a lot of variety there, for anybody. It just wasn't for one specific target or demographic of players or gamers. But nowadays, it seems like it's just like what you just said, Windu. It seems like they're not putting max amount of focus on those first party games, and this is where people start to talk about Xbox in a bad regard, because I don't know if you guys keep up with like gaming news regarding Xbox and all those studios. Every time you hear about State of Decay 3, it's been bad news. Every time we hear about Playground Games and what they're doing with Fable, it's always negative news. So I mean, I don't know if taking off all of your attention from your first party studios would be the best thing going forward.
But also, but also you gotta understand, like, not a lot of people. Like, I agree completely with what you're saying. But not a lot of people are bothered about so many of those games like we do, in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course, we're gonna have a hardcore dedicated fans. You know what I mean? Hardcore dedicated fans to play it. But also, you got to understand there are some people out there who do not have that necessity or the means to own that hardware and to play those games. So for them, having a live service, like, what is it? They just announced that they're gonna have a Samsung app for the Xbox Hub. Right? So you know,
that's only
a
on
lot
TVs
of people
for 2022.
Exactly. TVs,
that's on 2022 TVs though. So you got to have the newest and greatest Samsung.
I agree. But also that's gonna become a norm.
In 10 years time, in 10 years time, those brand new 22 TVs are gonna be $200 at Walmart, $300. You get me?
And I get you, but
you know what I mean? So they're looking for the long-term prospect, and becoming a live service for them is more of a viable thing as of now, because they are actually putting all their resources on that correct particular infrastructure, and they're building on it eventually when they have all of these things. So imagine you can just open up your TV, open up the Xbox app, and you're playing it directly on your TV without having a hardware, right? And you're telling me that I can access that for only $10 a month or $15 a month, whatever it is. Of course, people are going to be looking forward to that and trying to see it. There are some people out there as well who will be like, you know what, I need to upgrade my TV, but at the same time I want to own a console, but I can't because I want to upgrade the TV, and this will give them an option to do so. Do you know what I mean? So it's gonna benefit a lot of people out there. However, it's gonna be very disappointing for the dedicated fan base that Xbox has, and Microsoft, generally captured a lot of people's attention when they were releasing games like Alan Wake, Gears of War, Halo, all of these particular things. But the fact is that this is gonna bring revenue to the company, which you got to understand, like, when Microsoft is a whole, they have their own departments, and if Xbox can bring their own revenue, they can invest it back into Xbox itself and probably create a better version of these games later down the line. So I think that's the main focus that they're going for at this particular point. But at the same time, they're trying to cater to the people and bring new games out so that they can keep them hooked within that, and they carry on doing gaining more revenue from that as well.
So here's one thing that I do want to say though, because I do agree with Bam. Like, as somebody that thinks that the Xbox 360 was arguably one of the best marketing ploys for a company and one of the best generations, even with that bullshit red ring of death that I got replaced 5 times.
Bro, I replaced the consoles.
Like, at the end of the day, as somebody that was a diehard Gears fan and Halo fan, it absolutely sucks to see what they're doing to these first party titles. They're not the same as they used to be, and I can only imagine they're going to get worse. But I'm also thinking about it differently as somebody that is a hardcore gamer now raising a future gamer. You get me? Like, when I think about it as a parent, what like, even like monetarily, what's gonna be better for me? Buying my kid every $70 game that comes out, or $80 maybe at that point, that comes out every month or so? Or do I just pay the $10 a month and my kid can play endlessly and I don't gotta worry about it?
Yeah. I mean, Game Pass is, like, both of my kids my son just turned 7, my daughter's 5. Game Pass is a great deal. I'm not arguing the fact that Game Pass. I'm looking forward to the future of Game Pass. My worries and my problem comes in. Of course, I'm old fashioned. I'm part of the old guard. I don't want to think of a future to where I lose my box and I'm having to think about an
Yeah.
app on television, especially right now because America's infrastructure with internet is not the greatest. In certain states, you still get throttled. You still have a certain data cap that you can reach before your shit just shits the fan. So
Yep. I'm there
like
right
the
now.
whole TV app sounds great. It sounds cool, but that's on paper. In reality, it's not an option at all if you're talking about somebody who would rather be hardwired in or would rather be able to have a disc and pop their disc into their console. Because again, internet is not the greatest inside some states. So you're talking about using cloud gaming, your shit gonna be laggy, you're gonna have latency. Not only that, depending on the type of TV you buy, if you go to your local Walmart and buy the brand new Roku TV, nigga, your shit gonna be lagging like hell. It's
But
not gonna
also,
be the
like,
greatest experience.
I completely agree on that, and also the fact is that, like, at the same time they're trying to get more the demographic, that the reach that they're trying to put out there is already garnering in, like Windu said earlier, right? Riot is the biggest company and has the biggest influential in Asia, and Asian internet, oh my lord.
Oh yeah,
Right.
they good over there.
Their internet is on fucking point. Like, what is it? South Korea's got the highest, like, internet speed
Yeah, they're-
capabilities.
They're different, bro. Their bamboo trees got internet.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
trust me.
You can say that about
Trust
Asia,
me.
right? But right now, the biggest demographic or the biggest customer base for Xbox is not Asian.
No.
It's the
Like I said,
US.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I think that's why they made this Riot deal to change
Yeah.
that. 'Cause this Riot deal targets PC players, which is
Mm-hmm.
very large Asian demographic.
Yeah.
And then mobile players, which again, very large Asian demographic.
Demographic.
PUBG Mobile and all
But
that
what's-
shit on Asia is going crazy.
But what's the
Yeah,
chances
exactly.
of PC players branching off away from whatever they're using, whatever launcher
Like,
they're
no,
using,
it-
So-
to jump on Windows?
the PC
Because
players will carry on.
Well,
every time I hear
Hold
PC
on,
players talk
I-
about Windows, they say Windows is total dog shit.
so
No, but
here's
here's
the
the
thing.
thing.
Hold on, wait. Let me throw these 2 cents out there.
Yeah.
Even as a PC player that does think Windows and the Xbox app on Windows is dog shit,
Yeah.
the actual games that I'm able to play
Mm-hmm.
is still amazing because the average PC player doesn't only use one launcher. I have Steam, I have Epic launcher, I have the Origin launcher when I want to play Apex. I got my Ubisoft launcher as well when I want to play all those games, Assassin's Creed, etc.
Yeah.
You get me? And then I got Xbox as well. It really just depends on what game that we want to play. And Riot has their own launcher that the majority of PC gamers keep installed because whether they're into shooters, card games, etc. Riot has something for everybody, and now they're gonna have something for fighting games also. So
Yeah.
partnering with a massive company that's so diverse is literally only good marketing for Xbox. My worry is how much did this partnership cost them?
Cost them.
Because
That's what I was-
Xbox is the little brother in the Riot equation.
I mean, yeah, but it's Microsoft, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft got the deepest wallet.
Yeah,
of
they got
wallet.
pockets. Yeah, they
But-
got deep
but-
pockets for sure. But you got to think about it. Whenever a deal like this is made and Microsoft is the underdog, they have to shell out something on top
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
for sure.
And then that comes out of the players' pockets. That affects the studios. You get me? So,
So let me give you a-
it's like saying we're spending $1 billion in marketing and hoping that it doesn't affect the players.
Mm.
Like they're gonna
So-
recoup some, but I can imagine this Riot deal will also come with an even slower rate of game releases for Xbox.
I don't know, man. I
Right.
feel like Phil Spencer has been dialed in, bro. Like if you've seen that showcase and all those games that had 2023 dates on them, if anything, man, it's looking like they even more dialed in going into next year. You know what I mean? So I mean, I guess
you're
we have
right.
to wait and see.
You're right. That's so exactly what I'm saying. Like all these games that's gonna get released in the next year or so, is give them enough time to also build. What is it? The Riot deal happens in September of this year. Is
Yeah,
that
September,
right?
I think it's this
Somebody-
this winter, November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so something like that. So you still got a whole another 7 to 8 months for them to get their act together, and then afterwards work on these games and bring that shit to the point where people can actually enjoy these games to the fullest extent that they're providing.
just- Hold on, did you just say November and say 7 to 8 months? You know we're in June.
No, I think
Right.
No, I'm
I
talking
read the
about the
article. It
games.
said this winter is taking place.
Yeah.
The
So
actual partnership.
what I'm saying is all those games that was announced, and also the future announced games, which says 2023, right? I'm just going off the number 2023 because we don't know the exact date launch. So since from the time that from the time that Riot announces that we're live with the Game Pass service and everything like that, from that time until the time that these games get released, they got maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months we don't know, but. What I'm saying is I'm giving a rough figure, between 6 to 7 months to get their shit together, make their PR fucking, executives work on that shit, make sure all the fucking promises that they promised to the players delivered, while the game gets launched, so that they don't feel disappointed. And also the fact is that, having me work with Microsoft and IBM before, like companies like that, I'll tell you honestly, right? Corporate companies like this, right? Microsoft, you look at Microsoft and you think, oh, it's a big company, right? Within that, the divisions are very, very strict with their budget, right? So let's just say with the Xbox, they have a certain amount of budget that they have to use and utilize very well, right? And then they have other subsidiaries like their Microsoft Office, their hardware production side, like their Surface, this, that, and everything, right? And also the massive amount of money that goes towards in the Microsoft is the research and development side of things. And the research and development side of things came out with the greatest thing that they ever do was the Azure cloud. And the cloud is what is helping Game Pass stream with a lot of things. So for example, on your phone, if you own a Samsung phone, you can get Game Pass on your Samsung phone and you can play that very well.
You can do that on
same
Samsung
thing.
and Apple. I use my
exactly.
iPhone remote play account.
Actually,
and
can I say
Alright,
somebody
let's-
that has
let's,
never been? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, let's chill on this topic for now. Actually, the Black Mamba makes a great point in the chat. Shout out to him. He says people said Xbox was locked in for 2022 and now it's 2023. The landscape for 2023, like the AAA games, is kind of lacking, compared to Nintendo or Sony. So how do you guys feel about the diversity of AAA titles that the Xbox is bringing out? Because we have we have Redfall, like that's gonna be a co-op shooter, kind of like similar to Back 4 Blood, kind of meets Borderlands.
Yeah.
But as far as the other AAA games, they kind of look like similar type of games, like with the Avowed being an RPG, Starfield is also being an RPG.
Yeah, but it's not the same type of RPG.
They're different.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those games are mad different. And just to answer your question, I feel like Xbox is definitely in a better spot than what it was. It's just like you said, they got Forza launching next year. They got Minecraft Legends launching next year. They got Avowed should be coming down the pipeline. Redfall and Starfield 2 are launching next year. And then plus on top of that, you also have Starfield. Now I don't agree with everybody here. For me, I play Bethesda games, so Starfield to me it was a massive upgrade. If you want to compare that to Fallout or Skyrim, I'm not gonna bring up 76 because we all know 76 was absolute ass at launch. But Starfield, the space combat, thinking about going to all those planets again. I know for a fact
being back on track.
Exactly, I know for a fact that those 1,000 planets, them shits aren't all gonna be. They all aren't going to be filled with cities and people and NPCs and stuff to do. But if at least 10 of those planets have major quests, major cities, I'm good with that. Starfield, for me, I feel like they definitely got to put it back into the oven, which that's what they're going to do, which is why it was delayed. It has enough time to go back, get those FPS dips fixed, fix those animations. But as far as facial animations and characters go, if you play Bethesda games, you already know that those games are going to...
Yeah, that's
Starfield's
true.
going to launch with that Bethesda jank. It's just like From Software games. If you buy From Software game, you go in knowing, okay, there's gonna be some bugs and some jank coming in with this. That's not a pass. That's not me defending them. That's just me knowing as a Bethesda fan, okay, when I play Starfield, of course, the textures are gonna be a bit muddy if I'm going in looking with a microscope. But if I'm playing a Western RPG on that type of scale, that's doing this type of stuff. Of course, No Man's Sky did it first, of course, but No Man's Sky is not doing anything Starfield is doing on this grand of scale. No Man's Sky story is not on Starfield's level. No Man's Sky fucking character creator is not going to be on Starfield's level. So I mean, for me, Starfield definitely did deliver for me, but I can definitely see why people might have been disappointed when when your first time seeing the game after all the hype people been talking about, it's dropping in frames. The bullets aren't even animated correctly. You got full case shells whenever you shoot a gun. You shooting NPCs, they're not even reacting. Of course, I can see why people was disappointed. But again, I think that's something.
So actually on that point, let's actually get into Starfield before we actually wrap up here. So I did want to get into Starfield and also another topic as well. And yeah, just to do a deep dive on Starfield, we did get to see the extended look at the gameplay. We did see the first and third person gameplay. Him scanning the rocks and the foliage, which is kind of like No Man's Sky. You had the different weapons, like you had the shotgun, the pistol, and the AR. And you had a small tease at a look at the different worlds, and I guess that was like the hub world you saw in that portion of the gameplay. It's kind of like the main hub world. It's kind of like a Mass Effect there.
Yeah.
And you got the outpost building, and the different enemies and factions you get to face, and you also get the spaceship battles. So I did want to get into this topic. I feel like this was the talking point of the console war, and I feel like when it comes to a game like Starfield, like how are you gonna console war this type of game when you're going against PlayStation's God of War or even
I'll tell you honestly,
Horizon Zero Dawn? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you guys feel about this being like bait as a console war type of thing?
Honestly, right? Console war is never gonna stop, right? It's never gonna stop. There is always going to be on people's edge, like, oh, look at what Xbox is delivered. It's a shit ass game. Oh, look at what PlayStation is delivered. It looks booty as shit. Like, there was some stupid ass arguments that I have seen on Twitter, and Bam has seen me too, and I've seen Bam over there too arguing with people. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? You lot are dumb as fuck, because the same thing that you were sitting there and arguing about, right? The same thing is happening on another game that you fucking support. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's never going to fucking stop with this whole console warring bullshit. And people are just stupid to not even realize this, right? And I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just trying to be trolly on purpose, because I feel like majority of the people on Twitter are being trolly on purpose. And you know what I mean? So regardless of what is it, there was an argument about a third-person camera being the camera behind the person. It's like, bro, that's most of the fucking games out there. If you're playing a third-person fucking game, that's what you're gonna fucking get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what do you expect from that? Because the whole point of it is for you to get immersed into it. That's the whole point that the developer's looking from. They're not saying they're going, oh, this is a good talking point for a console war. They're just trying to fucking develop a game. And for this whole like I said, Starfield, of course they have I have little gripes with it, obviously, with this trailer, but at the same time, eventually they got enough time for them to work on specific things. They got enough time to actually fix little problems here and there, and like I said earlier, to my point, they have enough time to get the shit out, get the shit together, and then afterwards release it to the public so that they can please and deliver the promises that they have told to the community out there, saying that this is what the game is. And being 25 years into development is a big thing, and they don't want to get screwed over if they don't fix these kind of issues. And with that saying, I wish them good luck, so that when the launch happens, people can actually enjoy this game.
Facts, I agree with you.
Right, but like in my opinion, like, this shouldn't be the sole focus of the Xbox, like the Xbox in particular, like hyping this game up. Like, I feel like this type of game it meets this certain niche of gamers, like those who like the Western RPGs, those who like long RPG type of games. But like
But
to add
if you're
this,
an investor, if you're an investor, and if you have over the 25 years, you have poured in a lot of money, and if you want some kind of a return from a product, you're going to be talking about this shit, and you're going to be hyping about this shit so that they can make their return on their investment, right? And that's what exactly a lot of companies do, especially with games like these. If you pour tons and tons of money on development, of course they want it back in return, bro. And in return, this is the only way that you can do it, by marketing. Do you know what I mean? And that's why it's the main sole focus for the company like this.
I think that's a double-edged sword, Joker. I think that's a double-edged sword, though, because you know, with you trying to build this hype up, now you got people going in with the expectation, because they didn't make this clear. Like, they didn't make this clear, right? Of course, me, you, Melodic, everybody on the panel, we all know that when they said we have 1,000 planets in game, we already know 900 and probably 990 of those planets are not gonna be fleshed out.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? They're not gonna have big cities, merchants, and NPCs in that. You know what I'm saying? We all know that. But just to answer that question, Krow, about how do we feel about people using this in the console war? I mean, it's just like Joker said, bro. This shit ain't never gonna stop. Console war's been going on since we was kids, bro. With Super Nintendo versus Sega, bro. It's never gonna stop. But I just think it's really stupid for these PlayStation dudes, these Xbox dudes, to be trying to compare Starfield to games like God of War or Horizon Forbidden West. Of course, Horizon Forbidden West and God of War are gonna look better, of course, because they are nowhere near as big as Starfield. They're not doing a lot of the things Starfield is doing. So if you want to compare game for game, bar for bar, blow for blow, both games are gonna offer you something that the other one will not offer you.
But just know that the sequel to Breath of the Wild will blow everything out the water.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's a good point, though. So.
That's facts, though. That's facts,
Like the pizza after that comment.
It's facts, though. That man is not lying.
You know the fact that Melodic came back after eating a pizza and was like, yeah, he got enough energy to talk about Breath of the Wild.
Right.
I haven't ate yet. I just picked up the pizza.
Yeah. But that's just my thoughts, bro. You know, just to answer your question, bro. That's just my thoughts about the whole thing, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, in terms of Starfield, it does seem pretty promising. Like I grew up being a huge fan of Fallout, especially Fallout New Vegas. And if this is like the Outer Worlds, but at a much bigger scale, like, and I feel like, you know, Cyberpunk 2077, they didn't really deliver on the fact that you can do quests. There's like a different ways to do quests. Like, I feel like they had a linear path to do quests. But when it comes to Bethesda quest lines, like, there's many ways to do the quest lines. You know what I'm saying? So. This definitely looks pretty promising. If they can do the Outer Worlds, like if they can do proper quest lines, like that's pretty promising. And you know, it's looking like a maybe 300-hour plus game. But
just, you know, I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I do gotta head out of here, man. I gotta put my kids to sleep. It was nice chopping it up with y'all, man. Melodic, bro. It's always a pleasure. Windu, I miss you, dog. I miss you.
Damn, bro. Can't wait for you to move to Florida, bro.
I got you. I'm gonna holler at y'all boys, man. Hey, Krow, man, thank you for having me, brother.
Yo, appreciate you as always, man. Yeah, take care.
Yes, sir.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so actually, I did want to get into Redfall as well. Just, you know, just your initial impressions of Redfall. You know, it does look like Back 4 Blood with the vampire theme, but you also have some pretty interesting characters in there with pretty interesting abilities. You do have the girl with the umbrella, and how it works in the game is that when she uses her umbrella ability, it extends out like a shield, probably to like propel the vampires. She also has a jump pad ability, and you also have another character with a stealth skill, and he particularly specializes in snipers. So what were your thoughts when you first saw the Redfall gameplay?
Looks cool. That was my initial thought that came into like, alright, I'm ready to try it out. Also because we played a lot of games similar to this, you know, like Back 4 Blood and Left 4 Dead and everything like that. So it's interesting to see how this approach takes. But we'll see. I'm not holding my hopes up very high because again, I don't want to get disappointed when I play this game. But again, I just want to see how this game comes out. When it releases, I will play it. Then I give my 2 cents on it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's going to be a good game for Game Pass, and that's not to say that it's not going to have quality or anything, because I love Left 4 Dead, and I played Back 4 Blood during the beta period, but I kind of got my fill of the game after the beta. I ended up not getting the game on Game Pass or picking it up, so it begs me to question, like, a lot of these co-op games, they seem to come and go sometimes, so with it, take away the aspect of Game Pass. Like, if you take away Game Pass and all that stuff, would you end up paying full price for this game? I don't know, but I do want to try the game out because it appeals to me in terms of just like getting that Left 4 Dead vibe going. But it's really going to come down to like, who can I find to actually sit down and play this game, especially in the adult life and everything. Because if this was like middle school or high school, it'd be easy. All my friends would be on this, but it's like, you know, I would have to like see who would be available when this game comes out.
Yeah. Like, what were your thoughts on Back 4 Blood actually? Because I remember the difficulty was pretty intense in that one, right?
From when I played, yeah, like the game kind of got difficult, and I think there were like mutators throughout each round you go to where it'll give like zombies like specific like armor traits or other things happen within the certain game. Like I didn't like I said, I only played during the beta period, so obviously something would have changed, but I enjoyed what I played of it and with who I was playing with, but I ended up not continuing, which I should have probably during the height of the game, but it is what it is.
Like I agree with Melodic there. Like the only time I played the game was when I was playing with Windu. And Windu knew that shit too. And then afterwards, at the same time, like I enjoyed playing because I was playing with my homies. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I still got it installed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I still got it installed, bro.
Shit, Back 4 Blood night win.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm with you. Like, here's the thing: games like Back 4 Blood, and this is just another shout out to the Game Pass, right? Yeah. Games like Blood are not necessarily the type of game that you're gonna sit here and grind 3,000 hours because you're the best Back 4 Blood player on earth. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a night with the homies. That's literally what console life is all about. Like, I get off of work, I get off of school, whether it be middle school, college, like an office job, you come home, you're a casual gamer. I get to spend a few hours playing something with the homies, and I love it. That game is a great addition to that entire ecosystem and what they're trying to build. And quite frankly, if I showed you some of the shit that I'm able to build, because I'm a theory crafter, right? I'm like, yo, I wonder if I can break the game. If I showed you some of the builds that I got in that game, you would absolutely, it would blow your mind as to some of the things that are possible in that game. But again, good addition to the Game Pass. It's a decent job from, it's not even the original studio technically. It's a decent job from the current studio to bring back the feel while revitalizing with modern day aspects, right? So I give them props for it. A lot of people were complaining that it's not Die Hard, but every evolution isn't going to be the same as before. Sometimes things have to evolve for it to thrive with the new generation, and we just have to realize that we're not the new generation. And I love what they did.
Right, it's definitely a good get for Game Pass. Co-op is it's definitely good, and yeah, I mean, I did hear a bit of the IGN interview. They were talking about like this having very good like a loot system, and the skill trees look pretty interesting as well. And yeah, like is this something like when you saw the gameplay, was it completely something you were not expecting, or is this what you were expecting when you first saw the CGI reveal? Like were you thinking that this would be more akin to Borderlands, or would you be thinking that this is like more Back 4 Blood?
I would say neither. It just looks like a very good arcadey Back 4 Blood That's what I thought of it as, and nothing more.
Wait, hold on.
Game-
How are you gonna say neither, but then mention one of the two options?
No. I mean, like, what I mean is, like, it's more of an arcade version of those two, right? I wouldn't say like it just definitely matches the similar aspect of Back 4 Blood. It just more has an
Okay.
arcadey version, because you have abilities, right? And Back 4 Blood didn't have abilities. This one has abilities. You have special, unique weapons that you can use, items you can use, but technically, and I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I'm definitely not opposed to checking it out because, again, most of the time, if I do play it, I'll be playing with you. So, you know.
I was about to say I'm definitely gonna play it. I
I'm
honestly thought, you know what actually interested for it? I thought it was more of a Dead by Daylight meets Back 4 Blood.
Oh.
Because the item system that they have and the upgrading and all these little enhancements that you can equip is 100% basically like the same exact menu of Dead by Daylight. But then they're adding a co-op zombie experience on top of that, and the actual feel of the zombies gave me more vibes like PlayStation 3 Call of Duty zombies vibe. Like for example, like Call of Duty Ghosts, when they started adding more cartoonish bosses that would come in and stuff like that, where you're not taking it super serious, like, oh no, it's a zombie. You're like, what the fuck is this giant astronaut dude? What is happening right now? And I think it's just going to be another great addition, but I think this is good. This is very smart from them too, because we all know competition breeds excellence between companies, and having two competing companies having a co-op zombie game under their roof is only gonna. We talked about console war. The fact that two little tribes are gonna fight over this game is the better zombie game, that game is the better zombie game, that's going to make the genre grow from within their umbrella, and they're going to be known, they're already going to be known as, hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you, if you want your best bang for buck in zombie game co-op, you gotta get that Game Pass. Like, what are you gonna do? Go to Epic and then buy World War Z for $15? The Game Pass gives me 2 of those for $1, bro.
And think
You
about
know
that
what I'm saying?
in the future when the Activision Xbox deal goes through, then you have those Call of Duty titles that have zombie modes, which, man, one of my best.
Under there as well.
We grew up on Call of Duty Zombies, and that alone is just like one of the reasons I kept on buying Treyarch games.
Absolutely. And then here's the thing. They have the capacity and the money to literally just grab those Call of Duty zombie modes, and you know how they're like an exclusive separate mode within the game, right?
Yeah.
They have the capability and the money for future versions. Just be like, hey, the zombie mode for Call of Duty is its own separate instance of download, just like Warzone was its own separate instance of download.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it, and zombie following is huge. Even though the zombie games don't really do that well as far as, you know, like monetarily, they're actually pretty lackluster compared to a lot of other genres. But the dedicated community to it is massive. And that dedicated community, if you can get them all under one umbrella and then tempt them with other games as well, they're winning. They're basically just trying to corner the zombie market and basically control it. I think it's super smart.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, just to wrap it up here, yeah, you know, so for me overall, it was a pretty decent show. Like I did like High on Life, and
That game looks fire.
and also Flintlock and Erebon. Those are pretty good, you know, sleeper hits. These are like AA games that they showed, and yeah, obviously, you know, the big hitters were Diablo 4 and Starfield. And like Diablo 4 looked really amazing, man. Like it's a AAA experience. It's like a AAA RPG. and the fact that they have world bosses, like they have a proper end game, and like over 150 dungeons, which is pretty ridiculous.
I can't wait to dive into that one.
I've never
Yeah.
played the Diablo games, but I've heard Diablo 2 is definitely like one of those banger of games that I definitely would want to try out. So I hope Diablo, because I know that's a big game for a lot of people.
Diablo 2
It's
was
gonna be
one
a
of the
co-op
best games.
couch player too.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, man. So it's a pretty decent show, and actually, Joker, I didn't get your score for this event. What was your score?
I told you, bro. I gave it a 6.5.
Oh, okay, all right.
You probably didn't hear it because he gave a whole TED talk before it. That's what.
Yeah, true. That was intended. Because you did start and ask me a question like, "Yo, I gotta hear your thoughts."
Yeah, you
All
might
right.
have fallen asleep halfway through. I'm sorry. It happened.
Hey, man.
And
I
yeah,
said what I had to say.
so let's get Melodic and WinduTheMace's score. Let's start with the TheMelodicPunk.
Like I said before, my score is mainly based on the exclusives that Xbox has shown, both stuff that we've already known about and the brand new stuff. Like whatever Obsidian showed, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Pentiment, I don't even know what the hell's going on in
I
that
don't know
game.
what the fuck's going on in that.
Game Pass overall is looking like it's going to be healthy for another year. There's a lot of games I definitely want to try out. High on Life is definitely a standout for me in the show because it brings a lot of creativity to that game. Rick and Morty's okay. Like, it's an okay show and everything. So at least I know, like, it's going to be funny. It kind of reminds me of the Rareware N64 stuff with all the googly eyes on all the guns and everything. So that's a game I'm definitely looking forward to looking at and playing. Erebon looks really cool. Redfall is going to be something to try out. The Persona game's going to Xbox. That's a big deal. Ravenlock, cool. But again, at the end of the day, it's like for all the great indies and all the other great games that are going to Game Pass day one. Excuse me, I can't speak. When it comes to the exclusive games, I'm just not impressed right now. So I still stick with the 4 out of 10, and that's mainly talking about the exclusives that we saw at the show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in terms of first-party AAA, like I think Xbox still needs catching up to do. But overall, it's a pretty decent show. Finally, they showed gameplay here for once. And yeah, man, you know, it's definitely interesting. It's a great conversation, and let's wrap up the show. And let's go with the outros, and let's go with Joker Gamer V3.
Yo, thanks for having me, Krow. And it was an interesting conversation today on the podcast. And definitely it was good to chop it up with Windu, Melodic, and Bam Bam, who decided to ditch us all. But I get it. Yeah, I feel that.
You put him to sleep too, bro.
No, but other than that, but yeah, I appreciate you inviting me back. And if you want to catch me, you can catch me streaming on Twitch, or also we got our podcast going up too, and also I'm mostly hanging around on Discord, so you can catch me over there. But other than that, I appreciate you all for taking time for listening to me. I know I gave a big ass speech, but yeah, thank you.
Yo, I appreciate your input. You know, you got carried away many times, but you know, appreciate you. And let's go with WinduTheMace.
Appreciate you having me, man. And what's up, guys? I am typically a MOBA gamer. I do a lot of strategy games as well. Lately, been getting super heavy into podcasts, so thank you for inviting me again to the Nest Talk here, Krow. And just on my side, be on the lookout for a couple podcasts that I have posting out. And I'm telling you, again, the spiciness that you guys might not like, Xbox is absolutely disrupting the gaming ecosystem. I might hate what they're doing for first-party titles, but they're disrupting the ecosystem. Like, they're basically Netflixing the shit out of Blockbuster. You get me? Like it might be a weak start, right? Netflix started with a fucking kiosk outside of a Walgreens, but look at what they are now. You can't even think about a movie without thinking about the word Netflix. They're planning on doing that to the gaming ecosystem. Google tried to have their way into it. PlayStation has tried with PlayStation Now. Mediocre to moderate success within all the competitors. Xbox has done it the best, and they're doubling down on it. Because I will say, as somebody that never believed in that cloud gaming and stuff like that, I was playing Forza Horizon 5 with Joker, just having a blast. My buddy Lolo was next to me wishing he could play, and he said, bro, I got my phone. He Bluetooth connected my controller to his phone and started playing Forza Horizon with us with no delay. I was mind blown.
Yeah, man.
That made me a believer. So they are definitely disrupting not only the way gaming is going to become, but the way gaming is going to be accessed and the price that it's going to be accessed for. Because for the price of a fucking Big Mac meal, you can game all fucking month. And that's mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, cloud gaming and mobile streaming is definitely, it's pretty big right now. Especially with the Persona going into Game Pass. That's pretty huge. With the cloud gaming.
Oh, and follow me everywhere. Thank you. Shameless plug.
All right, it's time to wrap up the show, and appreciate you guys tuning in live, and for those who tune in later.
The Melodic get his goodbyes, his outro.
Oh shit! Oh my bad, yo.
Bro, I got you, Melodic.
All right, my bad.
No, I'm so sorry. I want to apologize for people that were listening. I didn't get to contribute much to the Game Pass talk earlier. I had to go run an errand for the family and whatnot. I tried to participate in the topic through the chat, as you saw earlier. Thank you again for having me on. It was good seeing Bam Bam again. Good seeing Windu again. Good seeing Joker again. And you can follow me on Twitter at TheMelodicPunk. You can follow me on YouTube at TheMelodicPunk. You can follow me on Twitch at JustMelodicPunk. I'm going to be sprinkling out more content soon. I just did a Zelda-related video, just a random soundtrack that I got on Amazon, and I wanted to sit and unbox it. Maybe I'll do some tier list stuff later on down the road. And, of course, with all these new indie games coming out, Metal Hellsinger, I'm definitely buying that day one. It's good to be getting more excited about future releases again, so thank you for having me on, and keep gaming.
Yo, that's what's up. I appreciate your passion. You definitely made some, good points here. And yeah, once again, appreciate you guys tuning in live. Shout out to Dev Floyd, Black Mamba. Appreciate you guys putting up. And for those guys who watch the show later, y'all are the real MVPs. Appreciate you, and make sure you hit the like and share the stream out. And this is your boy, the Sly Crow, signing off. Definitely a great discussion today, and this wraps up Nest Talk. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
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 They finished.